All right, y'all, welcome to Bluesday Tuesday number 5. Today we're going to talk about playing in different keys. We're going to talk about turnaround riffs in different keys. We're going to talk about movable shapes that are a little bit easier than full bar chords. So a lot of times we do something like this, big full 7 chord here. We're going to look at little pieces of that 7 chord. Like if we do a little D chord shape here, starting on the D string, 6, 7, 6, and mute the bottom one, mute the top ones. That is also a B flat 7 chord, just like this one. A lot of times people will play, you get that thumb bass, or you could do that chord like this, but it's a lot easier to just kind of look at it this way for today. Now we can switch here, and that's going to be 5, 6, 6. That's another way to do that E flat 9 chord, but we don't have to do a bar chord with either of these, so they're a little bit easier than some of that for some people. So. Stay on this one, and then we go to that E flat 7, 9. That's our 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord. Now think about that 4 chord. If we take it up 2, that's our 5 chord. We'll go back 2 for the 4 chord, and then we switch shapes. That's our 1 chord. We could go back to the high one, and that's like the F7, 9 there. So these are cool little shapes to be able to see. Let's try it. 2, 3, and. Okay, so I want you to check out one thing. Let's look at this B flat over here. Okay, so this is a B major pentatonic happy blues scale. Okay, as opposed to always doing the minor pentatonic. That's the major pentatonic. Okay, so how about you guys do the major pentatonic, and I'm going to do this progression. 2, 3, and. Okay, and then you also have your minor pentatonic. You got your flat 5th notes if you want to get extra bluesy with the full blues scale. You also have moving into higher positions. So how about try that one? 2, 3, and. Back to the 1. There goes the turnaround. And the 1 to the 5. We'll start it again. So you can really play with whichever scale you want. You can go from a happier vibe to a darker vibe, more bluesy vibe. Okay, let's look at a little turnaround that you might finish that with. So we look always at like where the major chord would be. So we're in B flat. This is a B flat major. See that 7 and 6, 7 on the G string. Goes to the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s. So the 10 is where you kind of start a lot of those. So if you can see where your major chord is from your 7 chord, big bar chord shape, right? You see those notes. You know those are the little double stop notes that get you up into those notes that you could do a cool intro or outro. So an intro could be like, and then instead of going into the 1 chord from 1 fret below, we would go into the higher chord. So we'd go, or 1 up from that. So it'd be like, okay, because that takes us to that F chord. So I just went 1 higher. If you were doing the whole thing, it'd be like that. So I was just doing those middle ones, so you wouldn't have to do a bar chord in this case. So we got. Okay, and if you were doing an ending, you'd be on those other strings doing that D chord shape on the 5th into the 6th, which was the B flat. So you could also do something like, so that would be a 9 6 9 8 6 8 7 6 7 6s. So what if we were in a different key? So let's look at, what if we were in A? So if we were in A, find an A note up here, see our 7 chord, and this would be the part of it that we're going to use for this type of a thing. This would be the major shape. That gives you these notes. And this is G string, E string. So. And this is our chord, so that'd be like the ending. Now if we looked at our, so that's our chord, this is our lower chord, this is our higher chord. So we'd go 1 above this for an intro. So an intro would be like, okay, because that takes us F to E down there. Okay, and we would be, if we wanted A major pentatonic, we could start on the A. I call it the migro thing, this major pentatonic. It's like, because it moves into a new position right away. So that's the easy way that I remember how the major pentatonic gets going everywhere. So here's an A. So that's your happy blues scale. So why don't you try that for A, 2, 3, and. Okay, we're going to talk about another thing here today. Let's go to the key of C. So we got the C major chord. So we got, if we wanted to do like a boogie woogie, you might come up here to reach that easier. But that can be a big stretch for some people. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at this little movable shape bar chord. So this is 5 on the D, G, and B, part of a C chord, mute in the bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to go. It's kind of more manageable if you have smaller hands and stuff. So we got those 5s that were coming into the 7 on the D string. So we could just do that. And that'd be our 1 chord. Now did you know that when you want the 4 chord for a blues, you just go up 5 frets. So we went from the 5th to the 10th. Back to 5. And then we're going to go 2 above that to the 12. Down. Back to the first one. I just did those 10s, 11s, and 12s to do a little turnaround. So if you wanted C, see your C right here within that chord, 3rd string. got your major pentatonic. So let's jam on that major pentatonic. Or you can play rhythm with me. 2, 3, and. Up to 10s. Back. 12s to 10s. 5. Turn around. And again. Sometimes you got the quick change. And you really want to keep those real tall so you hear all the notes in the chord. Like I say, the pinky is optional. So what if we wanted the key of F? Well, we just want to find this chord on those strings. So where does that belong? So we could find it up here on the 10th fret. That's our F. That was our 4 chord. Here's our F bass note. So that'd be the chord we'd be using. So if we went 5 up from that, that would be up here. See, that's our first dot. Here's our first dot. That's a B flat. So we could go from this F down to B flat. That's our 4 chord. Back to the 4 chord. And when you go for the 5 chord, think of where your 4 chord was and go up 2. Down to the 4. And between those notes is me going from that 4 up to that 5 chromatically like that. So let's also look at the key of C minor pentatonic with that flat 5th. So how about you guys use that scale this time? All right, I got a little happy there. Okay, so you guys use your minor pentatonic, or you could start in this C and look at your major pentatonic. Whenever you want it to go real happy vibe, you can go major pentatonic. Now eventually you'll be able to use all kind of different mixing major scales with minor pentatonic scales. And you'll see the arpeggio and stuff. We'll keep working on all that stuff. Look at the other blues videos I've made for kind of introductions into those things, arpeggios and stuff. Okay, so you got your major pentatonic for C. You got your minor pentatonic. You can throw those flat 5ths in there. So we're going to jam in the key of C again. 2, 3, and. And then we got, where does our C start? Up here, so we have. So if we were in the key of F, based on this one, we could look at our F note here to get us into that major pentatonic. Get us into that happy blues vibe. Or we could go down here to this F, look at our minor pentatonic. Flat 5th in there. Or you could be up here in the octave. So let's play a little bit in F. 2, 3, and. the key of F. Think about where our F shape is. Now the F chord here would be like that, 1, 2, 1 on the D, G, and B. So we'd have to go like open, 1, open to get up into that. We could also look at this F over here. You want to be able to see whether your bass notes on the big string, these chords, and the scales. You want to also kind of see if your bass note was on this lower one, what that chord would look like. So that could end with like a, or even an easier one would be 6, 7, 7 to 7, 8, 8. So we'd have. And if that was the beginning of a song, you go. And think of where the higher chord would be. That would be like a C7 in this case. So it'd be like a. So if this is the C7, we'd go. So we would have 15, 16, 16, and down 1. That'd be one for the beginning of a song to get you into the thing. So that could also look like C sharp to C type of thing. Okay, hope you all enjoyed Bluesday Tuesday number 5. We shall see you soon. Thanks a lot. Happy jamming.